Hi everyone, I just wanted to make a quick video about my setup that I've got going here for KDE Plasma 6. I've kind of themed it and got tiling window manager sort of behavior inspired by Hyprland and the new Cosmic desktop that's coming out. So I thought I'd quickly show off what I've got going on. This will be for people who want to get into tiling window managers, but they don't want to set up Hyprland, and maybe they're waiting for Cosmic to come out. They don't quite have the full expertise to configure a really good Hyprland setup. So this is a good in between for those who kind of want that workflow and experience, but they don't want to configure it and they still want the functionality of a full desktop environment. So as you can see, this is a pretty minimalistic design so far. What you might notice out the box is that I've got shader plugin for my desktop background. That's just done through Plasma 6, and I've got a dock and I've got a bar up here. And yeah, so let's get into the window management. With my shortcut, I can open up my browser. You'll notice that I've got the same kind of style where the focus brings up a colored border. And if I open it, another browser, I've got automatic tiling out the box. I can switch the windows over. I can bring them to a new window. There, that's Super 2, going into my second, virtual desktop. And I can go back there and just kind of get into my workflow. So yeah, that's my Luna Vim. So as you can see, I don't really like mucking with configuration files just yet. I'm not fully comfortable with it. But I'm really liking how this is set up at the moment. So I'll go through a pros and cons with you. Yes, so we've got the full functionality of a desktop environment. If we need to, for instance, change work, and that can be the NM CLI or the NM TUI. Yeah, and if you can get that working, sometimes it doesn't work. As you can see, KDE themes and plugins going, and I've got the functionality of Plasma 6 as well, where I'm just pushing Super D to like minimize my windows, which you wouldn't have out of the box with Hyprland. You can use Waybar if you need to, but yeah, I've already talked about not needing to use config files unless you want to. This was quick to set up. It only took, from a fresh Plasma 6, I could get this whole thing set up in about 20 or 30 minutes, including all the keyboard shortcuts and stuff. It works on X11 or Wayland. I've got an NVIDIA driver, and so I have a little bit of issues with Wayland sometimes, especially with Hyprland, so it's good as a NVIDIA user. So I'll put that down as well. NVIDIA users, I recommend it for. But yeah, as you can see, some customization is limited. I tried to change the opacity of this bar and I couldn't. There probably is a way of doing it, but you just need to go through the Plasma ecosystem to get that kind of thing. There's no animations for window tiling, so Hyprland would normally have, you'd be able to see the window opening and closing. This one doesn't really have that. Not a big deal, but I do miss Hyprland for that reason. But yeah, these window management tools and the colored borders that you see aren't built into Plasma. They need a plugin. There's also a few other things that you might notice now if I open up my themes. It's going to automatically tile, but for some windows it might not tile and it needs a little bit of extra editing, but it's not too hard to do. So what I'm using for the colored themes is the Klassy dark theme, and that comes in with settings to change the window decoration, which is what I've done there. And if I just go into colors, I can change the accent color, and that's going to change the color of the borders, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so I'm using Klassy theme with a K, and I'm using a Kwin script for the tiling called Kröhnkite with a K as well. Kwin scripts. But yeah, it's pretty nice being able to do all of this with just a actual GUI. Kwin scripts, so Kröhnkite here, and you can configure all your stuff there. The behavior of the window management and the geometry and how much gaps in there in between the windows. Just make sure that you click apply between every change to get them working, and actually disable it and then re-enable it and apply, just to make sure that it updates the changes. But yeah, so I'm just using Manjaro, but it can work for anyone using Plasma 6 as far as I know. So yeah, who I'd recommend this for is those who want the benefits of a fully fledged window manager like Hyprland or i3, but without having to configure text files, configure programs, get it all looking the same, requiring lots of reading. So you can do all of this in such a short time and then actually focus on your work or on your workflow. So it would be good if you've already tried Hyprland or other window managers, so you know what the benefits are already, but also how you might like to configure the Kwin script. Yeah, I mentioned that it's good for NVIDIA if you don't want to use Hyprland for that reason, or you struggle with Waylands, but you want the nice look of a windowed border. And also for people who, if you're waiting for the Cosmic desktop environment, because that's at the moment, at the time of recording, in its alpha 2 stage, and yeah, well, it looks like it's gonna be really great. It's not quite there yet, so this will give you that kind of desktop environment polish that you want from a workspace, but it's got some of the nice features that Cosmic or Hyprland's got, and the for tiling windows. So yeah, I just thought I'd make a video. This is the first video I've made in about 15 years for other people, so that's why it's not super polished or anything like that, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And if you want a tutorial, if there's any interest for that, let me know and I'll get one written up shortly. So yeah, cheers.